Hello and welcome. We had some exciting news this week, and this is my first opportunity to make a video with it. On the experimental branch, Timberborn has update 1.0 with many new features. I'm going to create a new game on experimental mode on the experimental branch, and we are going to see some of these new features. I think I'm going to go Iron Teeth. One of the things they added was this unconventional map tag, and they added two new maps. Oasis seems to use the new features of seeps and aquifers, which I find very interesting. But I have noticed JC the Beard already started a game on Oasis, and to not just copy him, I think I'm going to try the other new map, Pressure, which all of the bad water sources and good water sources are underground, is the main feature on this one. It's the main theme as I understand it. We always play on hard, even though there's a lot of new features. I want to have to do good or suffer for it. So, without further ado, let's get this started. All right, let's see. I have no idea what to name this. Let's just go under pressure. Pressure of trying out the experimental branch, and the map is called Pressure. So first thing we always do is pause it right away and take a look at what we are dealing with. Before I get started though, I do want to warn you, not will. I did just get back from a 14-hour shift, so if I'm yawning, that is why, but I couldn't wait. I couldn't sleep until I make a video on this new stuff. Okay, here's already some of the new objects. Brambles. They're impenetrable obstacles that block irrigation and contamination. Difficult to demolish and can injure those who attempt it. So, when you try to remove these, high chance of injury. Okay, so that's one thing to note. Let's see. Okay, the unstable core. An old device that will inevitably explode. This is a new thing as well. At some point, I think we're going to get a warning when it's getting close to it. This thing is going to explode at some point, and we won't have much time to react. It has a 5-tile explosion radius, and you can see by the way the map is set up that it will then start sending bad water this way. So, if that explodes, that's going to be bad, very bad. Looks like we got more of those unstable cores all over the place. I'm curious what these ones are actually going to do. Let's peel back some layers. It looks like they will mix this flow of good water with this flow of bad water. Which, speaking of, let's figure out where our sources are and how things are flowing, because this one is a complicated map. All right. So, it looks like those are sources right there, but I'm not. Maybe that's just where it's flowing out. Okay. I didn't see the actual source. There's another unstable core over here. So if that goes, it's going to mix that bad. Oh my gosh, there is a lot of unstable cores that are threatening to mix our good water with our bad water. Okay. This might be tougher than I expected. And we went on hard. Okay. Well, bring it on. Oh, we are going to struggle with this one, guys. But seeing these new features and the struggles that entail with it. Okay, I finally found the clean water sources. Gosh, another unstable core. Let me guess. Yep. Yep. That's once that one goes in, this one goes. There are so many of them. It's going to mix our good water and bad water. Okay. I don't know how long it takes for them to explode, but they are going to cause problems. I was expecting like one. I wasn't expecting, what, 8 I've seen already? Something like that. 1, 2. Well, if I can count. 1, 2. Jeez, this is a big map too. Thought I could see more. Thought I could see them from below. Maybe not. I know I saw more. Okay, yeah, I can. Right, that's the symbol right there. Maybe just right below it, I can. Okay, anyway. I'm not going to try to count them right now. I was going to, but then, no. So, very complicated map. But we're going to handle the problems one at a time as best as we can. Okay, another change they made. Why does that seem to be scrolling really slow now? That could be just some lag. Going to def mode here. Another change they made is that's not def mode. Am I hitting the wrong buttons? I was. Jeez. They quote unquote standardized the strength of water sources. I don't know if that made it more similar on different maps or what exactly that means. They said don't be surprised if something that was 2 is now the same as 1 or something along those lines. And I don't know if 1 is no longer 1 CMS. I'm not sure. So we're going to have to find out on that. They did say they removed the waterfall limits, though. No more waterfall limits in 1.0. So you have to be a lot less careful about flow. However, I assume you still have that 6.6 limit on a single tile. And I assume that still takes effect on a waterfall. So it still would be nice to know the strength of your sources. Let's get out of developer mode before I mess something up. They also moved where the notifications are. Looks like. Oh, and you can collapse it. Okay. That's good. So I think we looked at this map enough for now. Basically what we learned is we're probably going to die. First things first, we need to set up our basic buildings. Let's set up a gatherer flag. I like to keep it as close to the district center as I can with them still reaching all the berries, and that's a great spot for that. We also need to set up lumberjacks. I'm going to start out with 2 of them. Let's mark all of them for cutting. No, I was going to say mark all of them for cutting and then kind of checkerboard it, but actually there's a lot of little ones. Let's just mark it all for cutting for now. See, they're tempting us a little bit because we could just go over this natural overhang and then try to get through these brambles, but I have a feeling that's just going to cause issues with injuries. This is a really interesting map. It looks like it's going to be tough, though. All right, so along with that, let's get a deep water pump set up. We know we're going to need that. Let's go from there. Right away, there's nothing for them to do besides build stuff, so we're going to put them in the district center to be builders. Okay, some are gatherers, some are lumberjacks. Soon they're gonna be pumpers. Oh, and I of course do have all of my mods disabled because it's the experimental branch. One other interesting thing they added is a spiral staircase. So that is going to be very awesome because if there was a platform, okay, let's just use this as an example. If our path was right here, let's see, where's a good spot to use it as an example? Let's say, I think you guys know how these can be useful, but they can turn. So you can make a tighter system up to a new level. And in some places where straight stairs wouldn't work, like right here. Is that even a good example? All right, let's say you had your stairs going up here and you wanted to go over here. This normal stair wouldn't work because they wouldn't be able to connect to it. But the spiral one will work just fine. So that eliminates some of the need for the ladders mod. Obviously, things like building just a straight ladder up and then storage on top of storage on top of storage is still only usable. It's only doable with the ladders mod. But some of the little annoying cases the spiral staircase will help with. Get some water tanks down here. And let's also show one of the other changes they did. You can copy settings now. So now this one is automatically set to water. And if I said obtain and I hit V by default now, you can make that one obtain. Very much useful change there. I approve. Okay. Let's pause for a second. Let's think about where our water actually goes. So it comes up through here, and basically a lot of this underground stuff, the main effect of this is once these go kaboom, we have problems. Yeah. But, so it comes up here. The sources are where again? Sources are right here. It flows this way. And it comes up here. Tries to go over here, but then it stops because it can't go any further over there. That's going to make bad water come into, of course. But then it mostly flows this way till it meets with this bad water. Okay, so it bubbles up here, goes that way. Why in the heck do we build a dam for this even? Well, you know what? I guess we just put dams here, so, or even here. So when the drought hits, this water stays. Right? It's kind of an interesting setup. So we definitely need more logs before we can take advantage of that. Let's get a breeding pod going. We don't want to go too crazy with these right away, because we don't want our population to explode and then not be able to feed them. One of the other things that I'm noticing on this map, there's not like, hey, if I just build a staircase right here, I have access to a whole bunch more trees. No, that's not a thing here. The closest to that is these, but you have to go through brambles. Uh-huh. I mean, there are these trees too, but that's not very easy to reach either. Same with those. You of course could, maybe even should, build something to get across here to access these trees. We have one beaver not working. Well, that's just not acceptable. Let's get... Are we just completely out of logs? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay. They moved the logs to... Didn't logs used to have its own whole thing over here? I thought it did. They moved it to materials if it did. Or I'm going crazy. I know they added its own spot for bad water over here, but I think they replaced the logs with that basically. Or I'm going crazy. Crazy's a definite possibility with me. So that beaver that's not working could... Well, we're going to need food before too long, right? So on this side, I think it's going to be our farmhouse. Oh, and actually with the setup that this is in, that's just fine of a spot. And we're going to want to plant kohlrabi to start with because it doesn't require any processing for the iron teeth. Yeah, we don't have any logs right now. So we need to put them into our farmhouse. We're not going to bother building any storage. For logs to start with, especially because, well, quite frankly, we can't really utilize it. All right, so these blockages, what would happen if we opened that up? It wouldn't really interfere with much of anything. Besides, once this goes kaboom, having that there might be nice, but it's gonna flow over there regardless. But for the time being, it will just make a little bit more water storage. Actually, you probably want these gone before this goes so that at least the bad water will flow down that way and not cause issues once this goes boom. With that in mind, maybe we build our dams right in front of those and delete them so that we can keep our water uncontaminated once that goes. So for this first drought, we're basically trying to get enough logs to get our dam set up. Oh, but that's going to be 5 instead of 4. What if we put it here and then we only delete the 1 or even 2? Let's try that, see how it goes. But they can't walk on that blockage, so never mind. That's still not going to work well. We're going to have to just try to power through it. So we definitely don't have the logs for that at the moment, but hopefully we will soon-ish. Because that first drought, it's going to cause issues when it comes. Probably enough kohlrabi for now, so we can go ahead and pause the farmhouse until those are grown up. With the extra workforce, let's have another lumberjack. Let's actually unmark a few of these trees for cutting. And the reason we would do that is when each day adult trees have a chance to spawn saplings next to them for free. So while we don't have the ability to plant new trees at the moment, let's try and get some free trees. These other ones that I maybe should leave alone. No, I think that should be. We'll leave that one alone, I guess. We'll leave, yeah, that one. Maybe we can get some free trees out of that. But yeah, we'll build a lumberjack. And I think we're gonna want. Actually, no, not right there. We're gonna go here and we're gonna flip it to reduce the travel time just even a little bit. So let's actually prioritize these two over this for now. Each of these pines is only 2 logs. We need a lot here for these dams. We might not have enough wood. We'll see. We may have to tackle that. You know what we don't have going that we really need to have going? We need an inventor before it's too late. We'll just have it off here in the distance, a little out of the way. But we do need to build an inventor and get some science going. They did add another new type of item called relics. I'm not sure. I didn't see any on this map that I noticed. And basically, if you collect those, they're worth various amounts of science. There's a small one, a medium one, and a large one. They're leftovers from the humans, and you can just collect them for quick, easy science. And at least on top here, I don't see any. The most stuff that the humans left us is just unstable core bombs that are gonna kill us in the future. We are not able to ever disarm these. We just have to prepare and like build around them and expect bad things to happen. Hopefully that's much later. Those already got me nervous. I'm actually excited for that mechanic because it adds more suspense, more difficulty, and more planning. So I do think that's a good new mechanic. It's just I don't know the time frame. I know it's kind of random, but I'm not sure when they're gonna blow up. Keep an eye on this kohlrabi. We also may want to get our beaver some shelter here soon. Gosh, where do I even put this on this map? You know, I'm gonna have them cut all of this actually. And over there will be kind of our housing area. That one will be gone before too long. Yeah, let's get our first barracks built so that we have someplace to stay. Drought's approaching. How much more logs do we need? 6 plus 20. 26. We might have that here. This will have to be paused for now, though. Yeah. We're full on water storage. Let's pause one of these. And maybe just unpause this too, because that kohlrabi's... Oh, there it is. It's ready for harvesting right now. Let's put this at a lower priority. No, not even... Yeah. I just want to harvest this kohlrabi. Oh, this is done. Excellent. We got enough logs in there. Sweet. They renamed the engine the steam engine because they added to some maps geothermal vents, which use a geothermal engine in order to take advantage of it. And I'm guessing because we don't have it here, means this map doesn't have any, which is what it is. That's fine. The water actually looks a lot better, I think. They did say they updated some of the graphics. It kind of looks like it. What is this one? Show storage overlay. Okay, yeah, I think they had that before. Oh, now you can just toggle that on instead of having to hold X. Okay. Useful. Let's unpause that now that we have the dam done. We are going to need storage for our kohlrabis, though. Maybe right there. That way we could put a path to more water pumps if we need to. Okay. I would also like another inventor hut going. So let's build another one of those and just set it at low priority. Yeah, these are going to be done before you know it. Hey, we are. Water went down quick once we turned off this pump. Set this to kohlrabis. Drought is quickly approaching. We haven't got any, thankfully, no alerts that those are about to go kaboom. I would hope, with how many and how spread out they are, I hope we have a little time before we have to worry about that. Let's see. Have these all been? Yes. I didn't finish my sentence there, but all of the trees that were marked for cutting have been cut. The exception is these saplings that once they grow up will need to be harvested. Okay, that was the other thing they added. They added it's showing how chance of injury there is. Low chance for the industrial lumber mill, medium for the gear workshop, medium for the wood workshop, medium, high chance for the mine, high chance for the dirt excavator. I was going to say, if there is such a thing as very high chance, the dirt excavator would have it. So would the mine. Okay, so what I'm thinking now, we don't really have an easy way to deal with injuries. I think injuries would be quite problematic. So instead, I'm going to try to get across here. Problem is, any dam we build there is going to limit the amount of water we have stored for a drought. So I got to think about this for a little bit. And as we know, that's not my strongest suit. Platforms would be the obvious option, but we're a little ways away from platforms at the moment. Hey, we have enough science for the forester. I'm trying to think. It's not really. Flow's not very high on this map at the moment. I mean, the drought's about to start, so there's like no flow. But there's not really a good place for a water wheel. I guess over here would be okay. Or even here. I have a feeling we're going to have to rely on this large power wheel for the time being. It does require 50 logs, though. So we have a little issues there. You know what? I think we're gonna have to get injured. Go ahead and unlock medical beds at least. Oh, they require planks too. Okay, well, let's just see how bad these brambles are, shall we? Let's try to only mess with the one and see what happens. For well-being, new well-being high score, okay. It's because we built the barracks, even though we don't have all of our beavers in it. Yeah, let's put our working hours up to 18. You know, we're gonna want a tooth grindstone in case, you know, they break their teeth. Let's also get a campfire going. You know what? I don't want it there. Let's just wait a second for this tree to get harvested. Okay. I do like the new look of the notifications. So yeah, let's just build a campfire, you know, right here. Close to the houses and all. Can't get all of that. Okay. Yeah, we're in some log shortage issues. Ah, and that one did break their teeth, so we definitely need to get that grindstone. Okay. So it is a drought. But everything's basically fine at the moment. Some of those trees are growing up. Glad to see that. We really need that tooth grindstone fix. Okay, there it is. We're not building that much. We're going to lower our builders. All right, so. Hey, they did, oh, I thought he broke his tooth, but he's just injured from clearing the bramble. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and set up another lumberjack. And mark most of these for cutting. So I'm going to mark them all for cutting to start with. And then we'll spare some. Like that one, that one, that one, that one. We're going to kind of checkerboard it. Because I'm a little nervous about our ability to get planks right now. Which in turn means we can't build a forester. Which would mean we can't plant our own trees. Leave those ones or something. And then, all that good? Good enough. We can leave that one too. All right. Oh yeah, this can be water. Let's go ahead and start. I think over here is where we're going to go for our quote-unquote industrial sector. I'm going to put the wheel of shared shame right there. And then the lumber mill can be right there. And then if we do decide we want to build some water wheels over here, it'll be easy to connect from there. It's going to be a lower priority than the power wheel because the power wheel is actually, they're both useless until both of them are built. Yeah, and that's just going to be how that is. I do think we're going to want another lumberjack flag over there. That's where most of our currently available trees are. Yeah, he's going to take a long time to not be injured until we get a medical bed, which requires planks, which we don't have yet. A lot of our water is going to be trapped down here. So I definitely foresee like us building some platforms over here and putting the deep water pumps to be pumping out of there. And then, but I think it'd be a waste of resources to build platforms all the way out there. So I'm thinking it would be something like a stairs and then the platforms and a stairs up to them. Available workers, but that's just fine because we don't need them until this is done. Do you have a broken tooth or are you fully injured? You have a broken tooth and you're fixing it. Okay. Right? Yes. Haulers would be nice to help get these hauled. Okay, we have it now. So we don't need all of that. We're almost out of water anyway, so we're gonna pause one of those. Are you serious? Okay, I think we only need one beaver work in this. Then we can maybe have one in there. Yeah. Let's pause this other lumberjack just so we can have two in here. We're looking for the magic number of 7 planks. Once we have 7 planks, we can build a forester and not be as nervous. Let's go ahead. We did unlock that forester, okay? Building lacks power, okay, sure. Technically true. Yeah, that forester will be very... I think this will be kind of our first tree farm over here. Drought ended, excellent. Only 4 planks at the moment. Oh, 9. I wasn't watching very closely. Okay, those 2 buildings, 3 workers can be paused and freed up respectively. So, forester is going to go right like that. And we're going to plant a little mixture of trees. We're going to start with a few birches just for quick turnaround. We're going to plant a few more pines, and I don't think I want the 3 rows of birches. And then after that, we're going to go for oaks. Lots of oaks. We're also going to... Yeah, that looks good. We're just going to mark all of those trees for cutting now. We have our own ability to plant trees. We don't need to rely on trees spawning naturally. Okay, and we got that running. Let's go ahead and get 2 water wheel pumps going again. Let's see, after forester, yeah, we're probably going to want stairs. And then next up will be levees with our science, I do believe. Let's go ahead. We got a little more log security. Let's build our second barracks. You know, I'll just to line them up, we'll have it right there. Now we won't need all of that space, of course, because each of these barracks can house 10 beavers. But it's the only housing type we have unlocked at the moment, and getting these other types isn't enough of a priority to warrant spending the science. It just isn't. Let's see. Mm. Just trying to look at where the ruins are for when we get metal. We're probably going to want to work up here. Um, as far as a bad tide solution, oof. Um, that's trickier. Because even to get down here, we're going to need like explosives, possibly. I suppose. Okay. So right now, a lot of... Does this flow up anywhere? No. Okay. So at some point, it's going to start flowing over here. Bad water, at least. Where's our good water? There's your good water. It's all just flowing out of here. This is our water source. What? Wait a minute. Why is it contaminated that close to our water source? Oh, because it's up above it. Okay. Whew. What was I gonna say? So, well, that's a problem for one. But when you look down here, our good water is kind of going over here and then stopping, and that's what's pressurizing it to start rising up here. But it's not all rising up there, right? Some of it's going here. And then here, it has to fill up all of that before it starts pressurizing. And it looks like it's almost wanting to come up there. So, yeah, there's just a few. If we block up this, it'll force the water to come up there instead, which could be useful. Definitely. I was looking at what a bad tide solution would be, and I didn't really come up with an answer. I guess I think it's going to be something like maybe once this blows, if that's the first one, that would be nice. We can put sluices over here and here, and then good water goes this way, bad water goes that way. Something along those lines is going to have to be our bad tide solution. Honestly, I think our bad tide solution early on is going to be not to rely on building around here and instead using irrigation ponds, which were kind of super strong already, but on this map where it's very difficult to divert the bad tide effectively, I think they're going to be even more useful. So one of the reasons I wanted stairs next was I want to go up here, and I honestly think that's where we're going to put a irrigation pond. They also made it a lot of stuff quite high, so it's hard to get a good spot for, oh, excuse the yawn, for an irrigation pond. It's hard. There's not a lot of, hey, here's a nice big flat area. But I do foresee us going this way and then climbing up here to reach this scrap. That I feel like is a distinct possibility. Let's get these going again. Okay, we do need a beaver over there though. So when this is available, it's got to be a high priority. I don't know where it took the job from. Took it from the forester. That's not a great place. Let's go ahead and maybe, yeah, right now we're not building a whole lot. We'll take it out of there. We need these trees planted. That's pretty dang high priority. And we need to keep chopping trees. So this only has storage for 13 planks, so that means we're going to want more plank storage. We also probably need some log storage. And I didn't mean to have those have a gap. Just because right now, yeah, see, like this one is full on logs. There's no place for them to put it. So this is actually a higher priority even. This can be paused at the moment because we have no place to put the planks. Let's go ahead and unlock those stairs. And we almost have the signs for the levees. With these paused, I'm surprised those didn't just get filled then. I think we lost the beaver. We might want a second breeding pod here fairly soon just to, because I don't think one keeps us at equilibrium. Yeah, I have a feeling this map is going to kick our butts, guys. But, hey, lessons to be learned, right? All right, and there's the signs for levees. Let's go ahead and get up here. We are going to want a fluid dump next, I think. Because I'm just a little nervous about a potential bat tide, and I want some growing area that's not going to be affected by that. Other things that are on our radar is a gear workshop. So that we can get medium tanks that require 20 gears. Yeah, let's go ahead and build that other breeding pod. There we go. So we are also full on berry storage, so we should really make another warehouse for berries. Berries, 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 right there. We had an unemployed beaver, so I went ahead and put another beaver in the district center as a builder. Let's see. Okay, our storages are done, so we could be making more planks. I think that's probably a good idea. We have a little bit before we could even be eligible for a bad tide, so I do think getting the gear workshop for the gears and thus the medium tank, I think is a bit higher priority than the water dump, fluid dump. Is there still quite a bit over here for them to harvest? There is. Okay. He's really inefficient. He's even more inefficient when he's got a broken tooth and has to go all the way over here. But because he's so far away and we don't have haulers yet. You know, we don't have a desperate need for planks right now. Let's put that down to 1. We need something going on our inventor huts. We have either of our inventor huts going? No, we don't. Well, want some inventor huts. Well, that be oaks. Why not? Okay, let's slow down the pumping here a little bit because it's gonna make us lose our irrigation. And it was a fairly long drought. Well, being high score, I guess I don't know how long that's been there. We're just running out of jobs. Running out of beavers to do jobs. I guess we're not building absolutely anything right now. I'm just trying to save up the science for that gear workshop at the moment. Which requires 100. Yeah, I want to harvest these quote-unquote free trees over here, but I'm wondering if that's even worth it right now. There's a chance of injury, so let's go ahead and unlock that medical bed. Remember, the only place they go from the medical bed is to get food, and this is where our food is stored right now. Okay, yeah, we're about to lose irrigation here, which is not going to be pretty. Did I unlock that? Oh, I unlocked medical beds. Oops. I'm still in my later playthroughs mindset where, yeah, I have unlimited science. So, yeah, a lot of these kohlrabis are probably going to die. Let's prioritize harvesting. So maybe they could get some of those that are drying now. Thankfully, the irrigation from this reaches decently far still. It's not reaching our berries. They're not in danger of dying quite yet, though. Right now, to build more of a reservoir, we have to build it around this whole thing. So I do foresee us maybe blocking off a section of this. And that way we can get it higher without having to build all the way around. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy to store a bunch of water at all. This map is going to be quite challenging. I dare say this might be the hardest map I've done. Well, at least this one still says dormant. I really hope it alerts us down here when one becomes active. So close to enough. Let's go ahead and build a few more of those inventor huts for when we have the free, not free, but open labor, available labor. But we will put that at very low. Just this one we'll put at normal. So we always have one, hopefully. We're at 92 science. We need 100 for that gear workshop. Getting close. There it is. And we'll plop that one right there. And we'll build a... Not such a nice spot for a medium warehouse, but I just realized we're gonna probably not want this there right on the edge in case we decide to try to build a reservoir of some kind. Yeah. Where was that other spot the water could potentially flow? Was it right there? No, that's bad water. Was it here? Yeah, so this is another spot water could potentially flow. And the benefit of that spot is it's higher on the map. This is quite low actually. Like this is on level 2. Is that what we're building on level 3 here? Um, and the reason that's important is if we can pressurize the water to up to this higher level, the water naturally wants to flow down. So if we can get it up there, we can then trap it up there and build a better reservoir that way. So I think this is going to end up kind of being the area of our reservoir, like just building it out here like that. To do that, we will need to plug this. Take a look again. No, not even. As long as we block off this section, the water will flow here and then up. Let's just double check. Yeah, because it can't meet. It can't meet with that bad water here right now. There's nothing above it that's going to make it. It's just build with caution over there. So yeah, if we get down here and build levees here, it will cut off this spring. That's what I'm going to call this for now. But it's going to force the water where to go. Let's look at that down here again. Yep, okay. It'll force the water to come out here. And that's a much easier place to build a reservoir. So, I think the plan is actually going to be to get up here. Not this direction like I thought. But to get up here, chop some of those trees because we're going to need the logs. Build some levees here. And then try to get down there. And, I don't think it'll be that hard because I think it's just, since we're already so low, I think it's just a ladder and a platform and another ladder. So that won't be too bad. So that's going to be our way to get a reservoir going. Bad tide at the moment, I don't think we're going to have much of a place to make it go away. But if we just put like floodgates wouldn't work that well here, would they? Floodgates need so much room above them that we would lose the pressurization. So basically we'll need to get sluices before bad tides. And just say, if we built the levees here, and the sluices here, and just say, hey, no bad water can go this way, then the bad water will just stay underground pressurized. Problem with that is once the bad tide ends, the bad water is down there pressurized. There's no place for it to go. Okay. So it might be Gosh, that's so far away. What we might have to do though is do some platforms and then block this hole off that way to pressurize it. Platforms and levees on top. And then have sluices here that say if it's good water, goes here, and it'll flow up to what's going to be our new reservoir. If it's bad water, flow this way. We're going to have to build a path all the way down here, destroy these blockages, and then the bad water can go off the map that way. I think that's going to be our plan. It is quite involved. But that's going to be, besides an irrigation pond, which I think we're going to build as well over here. We'll build that first, get some crops going over here, get some constant irrigation. And then we're going to focus on that, the method I just described for bad water diversion. For a bad tide. So to make that plan work, we are going to need to get up here, get our hands on some metal to get our hands on some sluices, our greedy little beaver paws on some sluices. And that's going to force the water here. So we do need to go this way and this way. If we're worried about bad tide, we need sluices ASAP. If we're worried about just storing some water, getting here would be very useful. And actually right now, okay, this is 100% better because it flows right over into here. Some of it flows off the map over this way, but not right now. So yeah, building this up 100%. Blocking this off and making it flow there, so much better. So much better. We could even then build a reservoir here if we wanted to, actually. So we don't even need to go up there right away. We can build the reservoir right here. Yeah. Much better. So I think the first step is blocking. Actually blocking. This looks like our lifeline right now. It's not. Having that there keeps the water from being pressurized in a more useful way. We need to end the episode. It's over an hour. But we need so what I'm looking for, platforms in order to block this. So yes, we're gonna need platforms. Okay. So we can get down there and block this thing up. Okay, so we have a plan for next episode. We're surviving at the moment. Food's okay. We're out of water, but the drought is about to end. We have some thirsty beavers, but not too many. So, kind of is what it is. So that is going to be the end of this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at the experimental 1.0 changes. Expect them to tweak things a lot. This is them testing these new mechanics, these new buildings, these new maps. If you watch this whole video, thank you so much. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.